see you in the next episodes. And on Twitch, we're going to continue with the Stanley Parable 2. I'm now spawning again in thing.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in this building where he was employee number 427.
Oh, that's good them balloons.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a
Oh, that's good them balloons.
telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427
I think that will happen because it would be easier, for example, if like if I was the tap, I would do that because the thing is, if people make the same mistake, and for example, I tapped like manager with like a monger with like an A to less. So if like 100 people do that, that's like smart to save because you'd be like
something that would forever change Stanley.
Like if one person kept typing manager, then
when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his
that's just like,
years
for
at the
example, it's
company
like,
had this
I don't know how many users
this
currently you have,
complete
but it's like for
something was
purpose, like how many people do it, and
Shocked,
it's just more often the
frozen
same
solid,
error.
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
After bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
My bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Happy 12th birthday, Stephanie's.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Now is the question, do we go to the door on the left? Oh, I'm going to the door on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I don't want to go there. I want to go...
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
I will show you how I think you get to that ending with that yellow line. If I'm not correct.
Whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
This is not the dark room. What if I go back on it? Oh, I can't. Damn it. That's not a dark room, you bucket. You stupid bucket.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
And then she will mention the bucket. I want home. You know the thing always has the effect, like if people call me and I don't know who they are. Like if I expect a call, I will take like numbers I don't know. But if, for example, if I don't expect a call and someone with an unknown phone number calls me, then I won't answer until they call a second time back, because if it's important, they would try to call twice. For example, my grandmother tried to call once. Didn't mention, I was like unknown number, so I didn't like take up because I didn't know. She tried to call again, but with my grandfather's phone, so it was a different number. I was like, huh? And then after that, I got a mail with like at least we tried to call you, and it was like, oh. Flashbang!
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Me a bucket, but feel to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Is that not annoying? You can like keep getting calls.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Een bucket. Oh. Like, ik for example can understand that you're like in a school or work meeting and...
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't
I'm going to
talk.
understand this.
All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud present, get it back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
And to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? You're a bucket, so in a video
Yes, I
game.
suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Leaves the same day with me over and over.
Oh my god, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with
Can I show this
don't
on Twitch?
understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. I wanna. It's interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort
So destroy the
rushed
bucket
over
that day?
him.
Ooh, interesting. I wanted to know what I wanna do now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the
I wanna
bucket
go
calling
up
him,
to the
telling him
elevator
that
back to the left, as he
employee
suggested.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I'm interested in this with the
Stanley
bucket.
took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I was interested in this. I thought it was led back to the meeting room until I saw that elevator.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Can I go back up?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
I thought it was to the yellow line and... from memories, I know that the yellow line ending has to do with the fact that you get to the mind control room on that upper platform. So I thought it was this way.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay,
It's as
okay,
classic
thanks,
now as it was
narrator.
back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give
Yeah, this
something
is this
up.
way the bucket landing, I guess.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
And then just leave.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was
just
not
leave.
in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
I don't know what it does, explain to me.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I just restart the game.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
Or else.
I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
Okay, let's wait.
Buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Let's wait for
I
it.
can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of Deluxe Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and...
Nah.
Can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley.
I don't have any fans.
The fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now.
What did I do?
Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah. Different.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Fine, you
open
win.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
You win this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his bot. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
There was nothing here?
So he turned around.
No,
and got
I won't go back on
track.
tech. No. You tried to destroy one thing of my life and then you take it away?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
Not empty, or?
No reason to still be here.
Not empty. Not empty. But you take my broom closet away? After that you board it up? And I have a bucket and you try to destroy my bucket.
Baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yeah, can't you see?
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
I'm closing-
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely
I don't go.
confused. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Like, I know there is something with, elevator up here, but... Oh!
You found one of them. One of the miniature
Oh!
Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh. Like, the thing is, now there's something with this. Is this like a thing where you have to stand AFK for? I'm really curious. Oh, you don't so know what is either with this lid. Like, the thing is, I don't have patience to wait for this, so I thought... I don't know if you have to wait too long. I don't know if there has to be something with this elevator. But... How to figure it out. Still. If I go up... I don't think it's for something. I think it's for something. I don't know.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
I forgot this. You're done.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Like, the thing is, you have to get to the mind control facility. And I think you don't have the bucket for that. That it may be. What is there? Check behind.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest.
Oh,
as though he
behind,
felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Too late.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And the thing is, it like I know it's at Adventure Line. It appears.
The lights rose on an enormous
Hey,
room
I
packed
think
with
it's there.
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength?
What do you have to do that with or without bucket?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
427.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Pirate?
Was this the only
Wait.
reason he was happy with his boring
Pirate?
job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Weird.
No. He refused
Is that
to
like
admit
also
it.
Stanley's
He
office?
couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
And then
Had he
don't jump
truly
on anymore.
spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and
Just be nice
for
and listen to the narrator for once, because last time I was blown off the pieces because I didn't.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from
Just press
someone
the off
else's
button.
command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Let it go.
No longer
Let it
would
go.
anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
You
It
got to
was
like and be for
perhaps
narrating,
the
guy.
only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
Ah, how
Possibility of
sweet.
the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And they lived happily after all. Beat the game. Is that beat the game? I've like beaten the game 60 times already or something. Not in the way you wanted, game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
8888.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Play the sample the entire duration of Tuesday. Peter and complete the standing power 1 under 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 10 years. miss the Infinite. Yeah, I miss the Infinite Hall at this point. I want to see what happens if you go there without a bucket.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
No.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Because I want to see what happens if you...
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I've been neglecting this elevator for years.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Are you just gonna bully me now?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
I don't know. You're the one with the like floor building plans.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, yeah, I see. I knew.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole
What happens, by the way, if you destroy the bucket?
unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off
No,
track.
I wonder where I want to go.
From the
Wait.
top.
2, 3, 4 was broken. Hey, look at the stuff is gone.
All of his co-workers were
Ah.
gone. What could
Uh-oh.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait.
Oh.
What? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the...
I didn't do anything. I'm
Did you
innocent.
move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you?
Ah,
I'm
it's
not
your
moving
problem.
The story was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I'll go this way. Oh? Someone home? No. Hello? Pizza delivery.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've
Oh.
ever been on. I can
that's-
promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
I don't know, it's your
I
story.
find it
Oh,
unlikely
went
that
I'm
we'll
back here
ever
again.
progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Die labyrinth. Wait, there are more? Labyrinth?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
Wait,
It's
there's...
possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
You tell me. On the left wall. Oh. Well, if I come into one again and I don't forget.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
I didn't know. Like,
Do you remember, Stanley?
I don't know if there are more
Tell you
labyrinths,
what,
but...
since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Like,
We both
technically we
didn't
won.
put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I don't care what happens. Let's restart anyways. Stanley Parable 2 Adventure Line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Hey, you forgot
Just
something,
follow the
narrator.
line. How
Stanley
simple is that?
Parable 2. Forgot something, narrator.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination?
I don't know, you tell
even
me.
if there's no story there. Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Storyline, I can walk run.
Simply by the act
Walk
of
on the
moving
wall.
forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the
Who made
nature
this?
of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Yeah,
You know what?
let me
I
walk
think
across the
what we
ceiling
need
and then
right now
up to
is
here.
a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Back with this music again? Who made these lines, by the way? Here, look, who made these lines? I can't walk across the wall or the roof, so...
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Why would you want me to look at a fern?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Plush. Art space plushies or...
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story?
Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you.
Like, look at 2, 3, 4 in the distance.
It's
broken.
Take this anymore, to hell with
104 is fired.
Start.
Oh. Oh, that's Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
What are you going to do, Mr. Narrator?
This all sounds perfectly doable.
Is it like, I know,
Why don't we simply start
was it
wandering
Battle
out?
Bears?
I don't
That
know.
was the name, if
How
I remember
about
right.
This direction.
Because I played as a kid on mobile or
Now,
iPad.
yes, this
A
is
game called Battle
exciting.
Bears.
Just
But
me
it
and
didn't have that
Stanley
song, I
forging
think.
a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No
Or-
lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
The hard to acknowledge is if it goes every direction, but except the... Let's go.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, So I know that each door has to lead
I'm not gonna do that.
somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this?
Yep. Oh.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is?
Event from the maintenance room, end up in the monitor room, narrator restarts the game, first restart. Discover the tutor room, now has many additional doors. 1 minute wandering, narrator to restart the game. Second restart. This office now dead end, turn around, find another dead end, and put in another building, narrator restarts the game. Third restart, adventure line, nonsense, physiological music, return to office, return to the monitor room. Fourth restart, adventure into the explored territory, find the line again. Find confusion ending schedule, narrator restarts the game. Narrator forgets the previous restarts. Stanley attempts to play the solo bus prevented, unable to go anywhere, and anything the game restarts on its own. Find the line again, being following the line, find an identical replica of the office that has been deteriorated, attempts to make up a story here. Narrator restarts the game, 7 restart is no longer an office, simply black space. Wander in the blackness, find a bookstore, get bored and leave, narrator restarts the game. 8 restart, the narrator is gone after a long time, Stanley dies.
Stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
I was reading.
Whatever it is that made this schedule, how would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Ah, you tell me, narrator.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
I guess.
Not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Jesus. Scared me. Did I restart the game? Oh, no. Crouching doesn't restart the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed him. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Reward for finding them all. How can we find them? Thus the completion is instinct. What we know, some floating objects have appeared across the office. You have to synergize our research to ensure the retrieval. There are many questions, there are no memo for management. I can tell the spotted one. What makes them floating here? Who took these pictures of them? Oh! Interesting. Current photo clues provided by employee 16 we can do. Red room. Thank you, good luck. And the toilet we had that one. Please do not leave the office before reporting back on any new things. Very great importance, thank you. I know this one is like in the toilet, we have that one, but wait. It's actually on my hard drive. Come on. Windows. No, there's no clue folder. Oh. There's no clue folders? No. I missed something. It's just there's a large room. Lots of boxes. There's something to do with stairs somewhere, both red and blue. Oh, I know what 4th is. 4 is near the red and blue doors, where we got with like that game ending. Nearby your fireplace. Is that in the boss's office? A large room with a lot of boxes. Testing.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
I feel what?
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it.
You feel it?
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We know we have one in here. Like in here, but like with a lot of boxes. Like now I have the bucket, now I wonder, huh? Maybe... What do you think of turkey? Weird, eh? I swear there's something with that elevator, but I'm too lazy to check it out.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
That is
Crushed by
true.
the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Like that red blue should be those two doors.
He knew it. The two of them were
least.
inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Then towards the right of here. Ah,
Another miniature Stanley figure.
that's why you said
This,
behind you.
You know, there really must be a
Ah, I
simpler
get it
name
now.
for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
That's a room with a lot of boxes. Hmm.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley.
All the boxes?
Everything will be fine.
I have no clue, to be honest. I know the red blue door, red blue one will be the door.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't care what you
The
say,
door
narrator.
behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
It is an escape. Can't deny that.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant,
Wat een
the
box
bucket's
before.
life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Is that the orange box room? That's what I mean.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
And where's my bucket? The bucket! Welcome you to the grand exhibit. You're standing at the precise of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and sustained. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept what an open mind will be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourselves and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, ignorance in the darkness? Hello? Another
Can you
exhibit?
see how arrogant it was for Stanley
25
to take a
buckets.
bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Inferno Bucket. The replica of the Inferno Bucket in the medieval era was such powerful and looming that it drove dozens of nations to war. None in order for control of it. Will use that, and yet in spite of all, the simple fact remains someone can control a bucket. Game Town with people dancing around a bucket, admiring and being God. Stress bucket. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerable size and the strength of the bucket. I thought it was an exhibit about me. A bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold.
I'm a girl,
as this
but...
one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Getting you before the bucket? You're not gonna open the windows? Okay. I miss a stock lady. Peace symbolizes a necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that's always out of reach. This distance invariably is for our own good. Okay. The box room is the orange box room.
We can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together.
Now you make me want to restart the game again.
As leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
That. Well, this is where video 2 of the 3 will left off, so if you're watching this for YouTube, or you're never watching my streams, I also stream every time from time, you know how it goes. My outro screen will contain a video recommend for my channel to you. My channel button, if you're new and don't like my recommended video, go to my channel and find the Let's Play playlist full of content I've done out here. There will be something in it for you, I will know it. And the Stanley Parable playlist, if you've seen any of the other episodes, I highly recommend you do. You know what we've tried, or you know what we don't. So, we're gonna continue here on Twitch, and I'll see you for YouTube in the next video.
Yeah! れ以上の気がさんとさつまりのとろりなでバイバイバイ思いついたら歩いていけ心のゴミ残さないように